Shruti Haasan, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation and welcome to Mirror Now. It's absolutely wonderful having you on board.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Shruti, a little birdie told me that 2022 is kind of your year. A lot is there to look forward to, especially for your fans because they are all excited. Little glimmer, little glimpse really was actually shown on your birthday when both Prashanth and Prabhas really revealed you as their Adya for Salaar. So, all your fans really were raving about that new look. They want to know more about it. This is one film that everybody is talking about.
Yes, really, I actually didn't know that they were going to reveal the look on my birthday, so that was a really pleasant surprise. It's been a wonderful team to work with. Prashanth Neel, Prabhas, everyone, they've just been wonderful to work with. It's a very interesting film. It's a very big film. And I don't mean just like, oh, it's a big film. Like, it's such a spectacle. I can't wait for people to see it. And I'm really so excited about the love it's received. And, it feels wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, before I actually go on to speaking about bestsellers, I really want to understand this one thing. There's a certain perception that Prabhas comes with. People actually think that he's probably very, very silent and shy, doesn't really talk much to other people. Your experience working with him, is that a myth and that needs busting here, or is he that person?
No, I think he is. I don't know if the word is shy. I mean, I think he's humble and down to earth, and he's quite reticent. I think it's a great gift in general in people who don't feel the need to talk all the time, So I'm definitely not one of them. But with me, I've had some really wonderful conversations with him. He's very open and communicative with me, and has been so much fun on sets. And he's a bit of what do you say? He's got this I have a habit of slouching. I always say you'll have to pay me to keep my back straight because I do it only on camera when I'm acting.
Really? Is that right? I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I'm such a sloucher. So he's always just whacking me, going, stand properly, stand straight. He's really, really sweet. I actually was like, come on, everyone's like, he's a darling, how sweet can he actually be? But he surpassed my expectation of how wonderful and kind and friendly and sweet he is.
Oh, nice. So I teased a little bit about Bestseller. That's something to look forward to. Your first foray into the OTT and the web space. Now, what really prompted you into doing that? I mean, there has to be something really, really captivating and engaging about this particular script for Shruti Haasan to really say yes to it.
So I was always excited about going into the OTT space. I've been a huge fan of these kind of platforms because I love long format shows and investing in the characters and seeing where they're going to go. And I'm a major binge watcher, and I dedicatedly and committedly go at it. I knew, because I haven't done too many, I hate this word female-centric, but yeah. But I wanted it to be a female-led story. I had that in my head. I had kind of dabbled a bit in one episodic stuff, and I was like, I really like this vibe. I love the reach it has, the accessibility. And I know that my films have got a second lease of life because of platforms like this as well.
Yes.
So I was like, yes. when I do something in that space, I definitely want it to be female-led. And I'm so happy that, Siddharth Malhotra offered me the script of Bestseller. It's really well written. It's very interesting. And she's an interesting woman. I'm sure you relate, when you see portrayals of women sometimes, and especially when it's through a male gaze, you're like, oh, geez, no, that's not how we feel. That's not.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not it, and this was it. There were moments where it was so it that I really loved. And I think that people will enjoy it. And it's really wonderful because to be in this kind of setup with an ensemble cast with so many wonderful actors, and to be the lead peg in the story, it feels really good.
Shruti, you speak about it very passionately. You've been known to do that, especially when it comes to this particular subject of women in cinema, women in films, the representation of the female actor obviously not through a male gaze. And you've been very, very particular about how and what the kind of projects that you choose, so that it's not really going the same way where sort of that stereotypical way where it has been drawn. There's no line that has really been drawn as far as this is concerned. You have already always been vocal. You've always stood by this belief of yours, like you've been very rightly putting forth. Now, do you think things are changing? Do you think now is the time when this change that you've so readily been talking about has come in, or there's still a long way to go?
I feel that, like, I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like it's like when modern feminists completely disregard the women who paved the way for us. Like, we can't be like that, right? When you have films like Mother India in our cinematic history, and you have women who have, outperformed and achieved so much and paved the way for us. And when you have women who are I recently saw a clip of Zeenat Aman speaking, and how beautifully articulate and just how amazing she was at saying, this is me, I'm all woman, that's what you're getting. And that was what, the 60s, 70s? And I was like, these are the women who gave us the confidence to be this way. Or, female actors in the 90s that I grew up watching, even in a commercial setup, who were standing. I've been a huge fan of Raveena Tandon. When she was, in the 90s, when I was watching her growing up, I was like, she looks like she could kick someone's butt, just with her face. There was I've never thought I'm going to carry the beacon or carry the Olympic torch of women's feminist marches and races. I've never looked at it that way. I've also particularly enjoyed being in a commercial setup and having the woman permeate that membrane and come through and slide that message in, without even, with almost subliminally. So I just feel that it's not fair for us to say that these haven't existed before, or they haven't been women who have been amazing before us. So it would be really silly to say, abhi hamari generation mein hum aise picture nahi bana rahe hain, and we are so better than everything. We're not. We're living and resting on the laurels of the women before us, and it's our duty to take it forward, and I think there's a lot of women doing a much better job at it than me, and I'm just doing my bit in the way that I understand.
You see, you very articulately put it, and I totally second whatever you're saying. I'm talking about a Raveena Tandon. Back then, when she got, and probably she was the only woman and an actor to get a scorpion tattoo. So much was made about it. So much was said about it. Having said that, cut to 2022, when, let's say, you post a Reels video with your boyfriend saying that I was the one who proposed to him first. So much is being said about it. Because each and every headline that I saw, which is to do with Shruti Haasan, is only about this. Why are people so amazed?
I really don't know. Where in 2022, it was a silly Reels question, who did this? And we thought we're two cupcakes being really cute, and turns out it was I'm glad I told him I loved him first. It means I know what I want and I know what's good for me.
Absolutely, Shruti. Now, I was talking about this little segment that I wanted to do with you, something fun. So I would just throw some instances at you. If आपकी जिंदगी में ऐसा कुछ भी हुआ है, if something like
then
this
you drink.
Happened, first one, take a sip.
So if it's a yes, I sip.
Yes.
If it's a
and
yes,
tell me
I
the
sip.
story behind it, if there is a story to tell. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And if it's a no, we just move on. Yeah.
We just move on. Yeah. You're so studious holding that glass.
Okay, I'll be cool. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. Take a sip if you've ever cut your own hair.
Yes. Through the entire lockdown. And just for everyone to know, I don't color or dye my hair. The last time I did that was 2016, I think. And I haven't been to a salon to cut or treat or color my hair for over 5 years now.
Oh, seriously? I'm amazed. What?
I do trim my own hair. Yeah.
That's a revelation. I'm quite surprised and I'm quite impressed, I must say.
I have no patience. That's why I don't get fake nails either, because they just take too long. I cannot sit there for so long. I just can't do it.
Okay, all right. The next one. Take a sip if you have had a nasty media article written about you and you ended up calling it out.
I ended up calling it out.
Yes, yes.
No, my publicist will call it out for me.
Okay. All right. Take a sip if you have been trolled, another on trolling. Take a sip if you've been trolled for your love for metal or for the goth subculture so much that it ended up hurting you. Sometimes.
No, it doesn't hurt me. But if we counted the trolls for me loving black and goth and heavy metal, I'd have to finish a liter. Not this glass
You have
won't
to down this. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, but it's never bothered me. And I think it's because all of my heroes have been really, they've been really unconcerned by other people's opinions. It's a very rock and roll thing, isn't it? Even heavy metal is a form of music. They're like, Arey, I can't listen to that stuff. And we're like, yeah, you can't because you're not cool enough. So, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. Okay, take a sip since we are on songs and metal and everything. Take a sip if you've ever written a song as part of a love letter and sent it out to the person that you admired.
Yes, I have. It was a really romantic song. It was for a birthday of somebody who did not deserve the song at all. Moving on.
Okay, all right. Point taken. Take a sip if you've ever had a crazy marriage proposal that you still remember by a fan or anyone.
I've had many marriage proposals and I've always said no. I've been so scared of marriage. It doesn't matter how it is. It's always crazy to me. I'm like, why do you want to marry me? I don't get it. So I've had many. I don't know what it is, but my friends, I had friends who really were planning and wanting to get married. And their boyfriends weren't asking them, or it wasn't happening. And here I was completely disinterested, getting all these proposals, and I'm just going, bye, and running.
Okay.
I feel so bad.
Okay, the next one. Take a sip if you have had, if you in fact remember your first ever fan encounter, or if you've had a really crazy fan encounter that probably left you a little shaken.
I think once somebody was in a line where we were going somewhere for some event, and they came through the people and they caught a hold of my leg from the floor level and proceeded to, I still don't know if it was a bite, a lick, or a kiss on my calf. It was very weird. I'll never get over. I felt so violated and weird.
Oh,
it was my leg. Yeah, and I still don't know what it was that happened. I thought it's a doggy first, and it was a person. It was so weird. It was so weird.
God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay.
I just hope my leg tasted good. Yeah.
Hang on. All right. Take a sip if you remember your first ever performance as a singer. First ever.
Yes, I do. I was 6 years old and my father was doing a Singapore. Oh, I've stopped drinking. Sorry. So diligent. My father was doing a tour with his Appu Raja thing, and like it was a big musical show. Like before these star nights and all that even happened, he was like, "I'm gonna have this huge show," and in that show, I sang one of his songs that he sang. I mean, that was one of his films as a kid, and that was my first time ever. And there was thousands of people, and this was my first time on stage, and that is a moment in which I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. Just connect with people like this. Yeah. It was called Amma Vumniye, Appa Vumniye. Tamil people will know it.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Since we are on the song, take a sip if you have written a really weird song for your band's instrumentals. Ever written like a weird lyrics to your songs that you remember also? My
secret talent, and I think people very close to me can attest to this, is I write weird songs all the time. There's a side of me that's a serious musician, and there's another side of me that just writes nonsense songs for everyday things. So it's not just for instrumentals. It can be to do with like I have songs to wake up my sister, which are really annoying. I have songs about my gas.
How do they go?
I have songs about no.
You have songs about a gas? Please tell me, how does that go?
No, those are very private, very badly written. They're so bad that they're that good.
Okay, but tell me one song which is weird and nice, which you've written for the band and probably performed it too. You never know.
I haven't. I think all of our songs with the name Extramentals. I don't know why we decided on that name. It's so terrible, and like I'm so embarrassed about that name. So the name of the band was weird. Our songs
Why
weren't
are you
that
embarrassed?
weird,
What was the story behind writing that name, and why are you embarrassed now?
I don't know. My best friend and I started the band. He's in America now, distancing himself still from the band, I think.
Quite a long distance.
I don't know why. We were going to call it, so in Tamil, bhindi is vendaka. And that's my favorite vegetable. We were going to call it V for vendaka, which was even worse, I think, than Extramentals. So we just had really bad names for it from the start. So imagine if Extramentals was the best choice, how bad the others were.
Okay, I still like Extramentals, but we are still on the weird lyrics part. If you remember any, and if you can hum a line.
No, I don't. I genuinely don't, but it's just an everyday thing I do. I'm so good at doing. I've always like make bad raps at home as well, like, so it's just my private thing.
You're talking about your father. I just got reminded of this story that you'd recently put about Chachi Charsubis, you guys back on the sets and, then and now. That was a beautiful, beautiful throwback photograph. Do you have any memories of the film?
I do. My dad it was so funny. My dad was really upset about something on set one day. And he's, that makeup prosthetic, you have to take it off with the solution. He was so pissed off. He just like ripped it. Right? I think it was hot. We were shooting in Chennai and he was like, and so he just ripped that. And he was saying something to the production, we have to shoot there tomorrow. And he just undid his blouse, right? Every man on set forgot that he's a man. And they were all like, just turned away. And I was like, there's nothing there. Calm down. It was so... Yeah, I remember that so clearly.
Well, that was cool. So the things to look forward to, Shruti, as far as 2022 is concerned, we've spoken about Salaar and Bestsellers. What else?
I have more films coming out in Telugu. I'm reuniting with my director Gopi. We did Balupu and then Crack, which came out in 21 and did amazing. And we're doing our third film together. I have more music coming out and I have a few more surprises, which will be out soon.
Okay, we are waiting for those surprises and hopefully fingers crossed for everything and all the best for Bestseller and also Salaar. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.